First and foremost, let me use this opportunity to openly condole my Oga, who I have said earlier, condole him over the death of one of the leaders in this country, who happens to be also his in-law, Otumba Adekunle Ojora, and may his soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. Let me first and foremost show great appreciation to my brother, His Excellency, the Governor, for inviting me to chair this occasion. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with deep sense of honor and responsibility that I stand here before you as chairman of this historic book unveiling. Beyond that, and very importantly too, today, we are actually unveiling the truth, courage, and resilience of my brother, His Excellency Governor Umaru Fintiri, as well as democracy in the face of adversity. I'm actually yet to read the whole book, but I've been able to glance through. Fintiri, the man they could not stop, which is authored by another very distinguished gentleman, Chief Solomon Kumangar, whom I have known to be a veteran media professional. I have, however, glanced through the book, and I see not only a ceremonial tribute, but really a serious political biography, governance audit, and democratic testimony. This book interrogates power, it documents resilience, and it reminds us that legitimacy earned by Umaru Fintiri, especially in climes such as ours, undermines every other side effect that will come. Therefore, legitimacy earned from people is the strongest shield any leader can possess. Right Honorable Fintiri represents a model of people-centered leadership that cannot be derailed by conspiracy or manipulation. Democracy, especially in our own climate, can be undermined not only by force, but by procedural manipulation and institutional betrayal. But courage, truth, beyond politics, this book is a governance scorecard. It is particularly comforting for me, for I am a believer that leadership is about service to the people, services that are measurable, verifiable, and for the interest of the majority. Adamawa has witnessed tremendous growth as captured in these books from what I have seen, and I can attest that because I was the group managing director of the Dangote Sugar Refinery just before I became the governor. And therefore, Yola had been a constant place for me because I had to travel to one of the subsidiaries called the Savannah Sugar Company in Numan. Therefore, I'm very familiar of what has taken place in Yola since Governor Fintiri came in. I'm also familiar of what has happened in Shellang, as well as in Guyuk and Numan itself. So congratulations for the wonderful job that you have done. But in addition, I also see the restoration of workers' dignity through salary clearance, massive investment in roads, hospitals, schools, and urban infrastructure, education reforms backed by consistent scholarship payments, digital revenue reforms that have strengthened your IGR, respect for local government autonomy, a leadership style that is hands-on, visible, and accountable. These are not mere abstracts or the writing of a media aid. They are outcomes, and outcomes are true language of a governance. I have also seen tolerance, where when a hired crowd at one of your events was shouting, "Bamai, Bamai, Bamai," and I saw a governor that tolerated enough to say, "Kaima Bamayinka." And at the end of the day, the governor asked the DJ to give him a good tune, and the governor danced it out and played it out. That is democracy. My brother, you are working like a true progressive governor. And I dare say, you have the APC in your DNA. We are on the same page with you. We are the current governors, and local government chairmen can attest carefully that we have seen tremendous amount of improved revenues as a result of renewed hope economic reforms. We must say that a big thank you to Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, for the wonderful reform that he has done and has put more money in our hands. I think we should clap for Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. Which brings me to one of the reasons why I came here. I think, Your Excellency, the Governor, you have seen us going to Delta, going to Rivers, going to Enugu Plateau, Taraba, just 2 days ago. And I'm sure you have seen us going to Kano. And who knows, this may be an expedition that I'm coming to do, another big catch. I have come with a cap just in case His Excellency is thinking of something similar. I can wear this cap on you, and I think we can go ahead. If I had known that my boss will be here, I would have come with 2 caps. But I don't think it's too late. On a more serious note, my brother, as a sitting governor, in my second term, I understand the weight of leadership. I understand the loneliness of decision making. And I understand the courage it takes to govern with conviction and pressure. Leadership is not about popularity at all costs. It is about clarity of purpose, consistency in service, patience, and fear of God. Governor Fintiri's journey, as calculated in this book, reflects a true and many are well to know. With all this, I thank you for inviting me, and I pray that God Almighty will continue to unite us for the benefit of Nigeria. Thank you very much. God bless you.
spite of the happenings the last few days we personally, need that to be here in Yola because of my close relationship with His Excellency, Right Honorable Fintiri, Governor of Adamawa State, my great respect I have for the people of Adamawa State, and also because I cherish to celebrate and associate good projects, programs, and policies that serve our people. My relationship with the man of the moment goes back about a decade when he was then Speaker and an active government. I saw in him then an individual who was very focused, was very determined, was very strategic, and was very intentional. These are the qualities that are important in delivering dividend of democracy to our people. However, I need to confess, I've not had the opportunity to read the book from cover to cover. But for 8 years, it gives an account of the stewardship of Governor Fintri, who has served for 80 months. If I'm right, then this book presents a bold move, because it is only a governor who is sure of his performance so far and his achievements that can do what we are celebrating today. Let me congratulate you for being bold and courageous to put before us, particularly your electorate, and what you've been able to do with this opportunity you've been given. The book is another effort to report back to the electorate and to submit yourself to their judgment boldly. The governor is sending a clear message to the people of Adamawa State that they should feel free to assess his work and give a verdict. Only a leader who is sure of his performance can do this. The book emphasizes the importance of leaders being intentional and having a plan. A lot of our leaders get elected just for the sake of power, for the sake of power, and are not interested in service nor in performance. But what the governor is saying today is that I am here to show that I am here to serve and enjoy my performance. Books like this will go a long way in challenging and supporting and improving our democracy, because it allows us, the electorate, to have clear accountability, to look at and review the stewardship of a lot of our leaders. Also, this book that we're presenting today gives us an opportunity for us to understand the policies, politics, programs, and projects of the governor and his administration. They provide the history of an era in the life of a people. They're enriching the National Library. We are telling the generation coming after us what happened before their arrival. We are directing the attention of the present generation to what they might not be aware of. This is an area that we are very weak in general in this country, the area of history keeping, in order to guide the future generation. As a country with a young population, events like this are so important in guiding the young ones who are coming ahead and in laying the right foundation for a greater country. So yet again on this point, that we congratulate those who have organized this event. It might appear that it's only about the governor, but no, it touches all the facets that are important in making this country a better country and greater democracy. I want to enjoy all of us present here, and those are not here, to endeavor to get copies of this book, so we can familiarize ourselves with the story of the Fintri administration. We should also endeavor to ensure that the younger ones in the various secondary schools, tertiary institutions in the state and beyond have access to this book. I urge the governor to ensure the book is distributed to these in the schools as soon as possible. Getting the book to schools, youth groups, general public is the best way to let people know about the period. We should help them to circulate the book. I am sure a lot of people will also want to know the story behind some of your projects. It is not just the projects itself. How were these projects designed? What were the challenges? We've been talking a lot when we went to the commission listening, and today the cultural dances on display, where people have said, if you are demolishing for good value, continue to demolish. Because people need to know why, what has led to this. And I think this is very, very important as we transform into the next phase of this great country. I would not want to make a response to the chairman of the occasion, And I can sit there and not keep quiet. There were occasions where he came some caps. I'm sure he will do it back home with those caps. And governor, the party cannot be a breeding for performance. If we are not performing, you will not try and recruit us, which means they are performing. Continue to perform, not only as a governor, but the leadership of the National Assembly, of the party, deputy governor, and all those who are here to hear what has made him the man that cannot be stopped.
Appreciating our own governor, the people's governor, Governor Adamawa, His Excellency, Right Honorable Adamawa. If you agree with me that Adamawa State has indeed been modernized, if you were here,
in comfort, it is actually an act of faith, faith in truth, faith in history, and faith in the enduring value of leadership that places people above power. It is a commitment to preserve memory where forgetting would have been more convenient, and to document leadership where silence would have been more safer. This book, Century, the Man We Could Not Stop, did not begin as an idea in search of expression. It began, sorry for the break of transmission. It began as an idea in search of expression. It began as a responsibility and obligation to history.
Titled The Voodoo of the City. In this opening chapter, the author literally enters the scene with historical guns blazing. In a very eloquent, alluring, and gripping language, the author provides the reader with a historical backdrop against which to appreciate the entire theme of the book. In this way, the reader is guided into the ecosystem that produces the subject of interior. In his narration, history literally collides with cultural metrics, formed in the forest of distorted worldviews, views and claims founded on dubious supremacist walls of liars and manipulators of the existential reality.
He has almost shown us the way as a young man with courage. Somebody with a deep sense of innovation. The writer has done him a lot of justice, but I think he has spoken less of what the baby writer has said. We would have known what is his background. Is it his minority background that has propelled him, or other socio-political issues? But certainly he's a personality that we need to study beyond this peripheral insinuation that he cannot be stopped. Yes, he cannot be stopped. And we have seen why he cannot be stopped. Because of performance. Because the people of Adamawa are well informed. There are many people who can have this sense of judgment. What he has done as a man of infrastructure, innovation in the rural areas. I remember the time he told me that he was going to take a loan courageously to build livestock, even before the federal government did it. Cattle roads, providing water and pasture, and developing the sector where they have comparative advantage. We in PDP, we are doing it by peer review and by knowledge. We are not just guessing and by planning. And he was able to articulate all these projects that they have shown on the screen, multidimensional in nature, where he touched all the aspects of living, the common man, a role model, a hero. Because it is one thing to be underrated, it is another thing to come and perform and go beyond expectations. And this is what we have done. We are very proud of you. We wish you well.
So also, as a chief unveiler, I'm unveiling this book with a lot of things, not just cash, but also in kind, which is going to be duly communicated to the organizing committee of this book event. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for the honor.
I welcome everyone. Your presence here today is not just a matter of convenience, but a testament to the significance of this event. I sincerely appreciate that you have taken the time from your busy schedule to share this moment with us. Your presence is not just invaluable, it is the very essence of this gathering, and we are internally grateful for your gesture. I thank professors, my friends and colleagues, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State, for agreeing to share this occasion despite a short notice. I equally salute in no small measure my leader and friend, His Excellency Abubakar Bokola Saraki, CON, former Governor of Kwara State and President of Nigerian Senate, for making our time not only to be here, but to deliver a keynote speech. It is my fervent belief that what he has just delivered is key enough to unlock the door that takes us deeper into the knowledge of what is required to fertilize democratic echoes and entrench the culture of electoral sanctity and protection of the people's mandate against electoral banditry in Nigeria. Similarly, I thank Most Reverend Dr. Matthew Hassan Koka, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese and founder of the Koka Center, who reviewed today's book with a characteristic brilliance that can only be done by him. Father Koka is one Nigerian whose intellectual prowess fascinates not only the ecclesiastical congregation where he is spiritually called, but even those of us outside the church whose penchant for the truth and the courage to say it knows no bound. This afternoon, we are gathered to unveil the book titled Victory, the Man They Could Not Stop. This task is led by my younger brother, Dr. Mustafa Sali, the APC National Vice Chairman, not his own. I sincerely thank him for this role. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, even though the book carries both my face and my name on its cover, I must confess that I'm yet to read it. I can only but accept the honor of being at the flank of the discussion was central to the discourse in the 2023 election and its surrounding machinations. The book already has a reviewer who has provided a glimpse of what to expect in it. I must equally admit that the author, Mr. Solomon Kumangara, has all my endorsement to write this book. I have known Solo, as we used to call him, and still do, for close to 50 years. If there is any endowment Solo has in reckless abundance, since our days as young boys at GS Circular, it is the act of writing. Solo writes very well. His journey into journalism was therefore a choreographed fait accompli. Having worked with him as my Director General of Media and Publicity, I also do know that sometimes his pen can be caustic and venomous, and his ink can stink like bees. If by any chance any name is mentioned in the book that will not dodge Solo's characteristics onslaught, that name should be ready to make do with the sting or hit back at the author. Today, this is Solo's book. If anybody has a different version to this narrative, as most authors would say, they are at liberty to write their own. He has written his own based on the available information he would score as a journalist and as the Director General of Media and Publicity of our team for 4 years. This book is a journalistics account with its limitation both in depth and size. I can't make excuses for him, but one thing is certain. The work has made a pioneering depot to the shelf of future narratives on many issues that form part of our formative 4 years as government in Adamawa State. Most fundamental are the machinations that formed the embattled 2023 election. The last is not yet harm from the election. There are more people with better informed narratives of the 2023 elections in Adamawa State. And I believe that they are on their way with more books. Thank you so much for opening the way, and congratulations for this. Going back to the title of the book, Filtering the Mandiculous Story. The story of the attempt to stop me cannot be told in a single book. I'm a man of destiny. There were many numerous fertile shots at stopping me. The 2023 election was just the height of them. And an embarrassing one, not only to the state, but to the nation and to the democracy globally. In 2023, we saw treachery, we saw assault, we saw moral compromise of a bankrupt elite, marked as patriots. But most importantly, we saw support and resilience of the true Adamawa people and friendship that goes beyond the state. If 2023 had not happened, we wouldn't have known some people for who they are. Pretentious, greedy, opportunistic, and desperate, yet crying the victim and still claiming to democratic credentials they are distant from. The sad news is that this clique of pretenders and political operators are still around, shuttling between Yola and Abuja, shamelessly and dangerously hovering around our democracy. Nigeria must not wait for our justice system to deal with them. We must, as we did in 2023, resist them with our vote and unmask them to the world. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there is so much in the womb of 2023. I hope to come up with a full disclosure in my memo. In the fullness of time, the story has just begun. Once again, thank you and God bless you all.